So now, earlier in the conversation, you alluded to one of the issue about the teaching of critical race theory. And we, cannot but notice that this is an issue that has caused many parents in different communities across the nation to be up in arms at school board meetings. And many Chinese Americans also spoke up, and I think there was one lady whose video had gone viral, and I had a very similar feeling as she did as well, that we looked at the theory, we would find some similarity or strong similarity with what we had experienced in China. So now today we have you who had the lived experience about the racial relationship in US as you grew up. So, and obviously you're very successful now. So tell us, so in your growing up, how had you dealt with that relationship, and how does it give you more insights regarding the critical race theory or race relationship in general and critical race theory in particular?
Thank you very much for asking. So my background for everybody watching, I'm 60 years old. So I was born before civil rights to a single Black woman in the ghetto of East Oakland, California. This is one of the most dangerous ghettos in the nation. I grew up initially, when I was younger, in the projects of East Oakland. And so we had nothing. So in terms of race relations, this is how my mother educated me. She said, son, here's the Bible, and here's the dictionary. I want a verse every night, and I want a word every night. You're going to get educated, because that is the pathway to escaping poverty. It's education. She said, things are rough right now, but blaming others for where we're at gets you nowhere. And so my mother taught me at a very young age accountability and responsibility. I was taught that if you want something in life, you work hard for it. If you want something that someone else has, you work harder for it. That was the balance that I was given. Not blame, and certainly not victim behaviors. And so if you look at critical race theory, if you look at the theories, you do not have to be a Black person to understand critical race theory. From the book, Critical Race Theory, who wrote the book and wrote the theory in collaboration with others, it clearly states the tenets. And a couple of the tenets of critical race theory, and I have them all committed to memory because I have studied this for many years as I've spoken openly about diversity, equity, and inclusion, and topics like critical race theory. Number one is that our society, that the United States is systemically racist. Now, a system is made up of people. A system without people is nothing. And so essentially we're saying that the people who run those systems are racist. That would say that the people in your hospital, the people in our schools, the people in our police departments, they're all racist. That is a blame mentality. The other thing that's very disturbing is it questions the concept that America is a melting pot. Well, it's a scientific fact that we are one of the most diverse nations in the world. Mm-hmm. Fact that people immigrate or migrate to America consistently all year, every year, because America is a great country that offers opportunity and freedom from persecution. And I want to say a lot of people who don't understand what it's like to live in a third world nation, who don't know what it's like to live in poverty or to live in oppression, you don't have an appreciation and you cannot understand the dangers of critical race theory. And what I want to say is this: when you tell a young Black child, brown child, or any child that they cannot succeed because the system is against them, that does not help a child. That holds a child down. It builds a learned helplessness, as Dr. Seligman said in his theory. It doesn't empower a child, it restricts a child. And so that is the danger of critical race theory. It teaches division. It teaches that if you're a white child, you should feel guilty about the color of your skin. That sounds incredibly racist to me. I don't think any child, regardless of race, creed, color, or religion, should feel guilty about their heritage or their beliefs. Critical race theory teaches the opposite. This is why I'm strongly against it. And as someone who has worked from nothing to having success in business, That is from hard work. That is from this great nation we call America that offered me the opportunity. I've traveled the world. I've seen survival, people who barely survive, people who struggle every day in poverty. We have a wonderful country. We have every opportunity, regardless of where you're at.